Hello everyone, thank you for joining me on this channel. I have to say I am very excited. Something I've been planning to do for many years is about to happen. I've always wanted to drive across the country and back again, coast to coast to coast, and it's finally going to happen. And it's going to happen in an electric car. So it's just not any car, but my personal Tesla Model Y, where I'm going to be driving across from Atlantic City, New Jersey to Pacifica, California, which is next to San Francisco. From there, we're going to drive down to Los Angeles / San Diego area, and from there we're going to drive across the country again to Jacksonville, Mississippi, and from there back home. So I'll show that to you on the map here. But it's been very little planning is what I want to say. Basically threw this into Tesla trip and just said, hey, I want to go from here to here, and he just gave me a map. And of course it's basically going over the road that I was planning to do, Route 80, 76 and 80 and so on, the common road that most people take for this cross-country journey. And then coming back, I'm going to be coming back on Route 10 through the southern states. Again, pretty normal. And I will be stopping about 2 to 3 times a day to charge. But I'm not going to be wasting time charging, because those charging times are going to be coinciding with my lunch breaks and bathroom breaks and so on. So at most, we might be spending maybe an extra 15 to 30 minutes. And I'll explain more of that in my video later on. The point is that this is just get in the car and start driving. The only thing we planned is what we're going to bring with us and stuff like that, just food and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, it's just more of an adventure. So stay tuned. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. All right, time to leave.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Mira.
Hey, so here we are. My trip finally begins. We're at Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's the Atlantic Ocean, the beach at Atlantic City. And from here, we're gonna head to San Francisco. Actually, we're gonna head to Pacifica, California, which is just south of San Francisco. So Atlantic City to the Pacific Ocean at Pacifica, California. And I'm gonna introduce you to Oswald. So joining me on this trip, it's gonna be Oswald, my son-in-law. So he's gonna be keeping me company. Let's go. We're gonna head to San Francisco and Pacifica, California. So follow me, we're gonna head out. So here we are in my car. We're ready to leave. So we're at Atlantic City, and I just programmed in our destination, which is Pacifica, going all the way down to Pacifica, California. It's almost 3,000 kilometers, sorry, 3,000 miles, 5,000 kilometers. And we're going to be using full self-driving as much as we can. And my son-in-law, who's new to full self-driving, he may or may not use it. So this whole trip is not going to be entirely full self-driving, but almost 40 to 50% of it is going to be full self-driving. So you're talking about, around 3 days worth of full self-driving altogether. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to start heading off. So here we are on the road. We've left Atlantic City, heading westbound to Pacifica, California. So right now the car is driving. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it's actually raining outside, but the car is handling pretty well. If you look at the map, you can see that there's a lot of messes that the full self-driving is a little bit degraded. So I activated the full self-driving when I left the parking lot, and it's been driving since then. And by the way, there has been no intervention, meaning I have not taken over on the driving. The car has been doing everything from the parking lot, outside of the parking lot, I mean. I am going to actually keep something called intervention counter. So every time I have to take over, I'm going to add that up, and I want to see how many times I have to take over going to Pacifica, California. And let's see, can it go 2,500 or 3,000 miles with less than 100 interventions, I hope. So that's going to be the challenge. Now, as you can see, the weather is not cooperating. We have a hurricane, or actually it's not a hurricane anymore, it's a tropical storm that's hitting the East Coast. And right now the car is doing pretty good. It's giving me a warning that full self-driving is degraded, but it's doing very well right now. I had not had to take over. Right now the car is heading to our first quick charge up because my battery was low. It was only like 40% when I left Atlantic City. So in about 15-20 minutes we're going to be stopping to charge. And for people who might not know, because my car already told me all my different places I'm going to stop, because it knows I'm going to be passing a supercharger, the car is starting to precondition the battery, getting it to a perfect temperature, so when I get to the supercharger, it's going to charge as quickly as it can. Now, according to the computer, I might be there for about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and that's going to give me enough charge to get to Harrisburg. So the car is being very conservative with this charging. It's charging between about 15 or 19%, between 15 and 20, all the way to 80. However, I'm going to actually push it. I'm going to actually try to drive maybe down to 5 or 10% and then charge up to 90. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that's an additional 150 or so miles that I could be driving, and I don't need to, because I'm not worried about charging. I don't have range anxiety. I know my car very well. I know exactly how many miles it's going to get, and Tesla has superchargers everywhere. And which, by the way, later on I'm going to explain about the difference between Tesla's supercharging network versus other providers. But because the Tesla supercharging network is so reliable, I am not planning anything. The computer already told me where to go, and all I'm doing is just sitting here watching the car drive in the middle of the rainstorm, eating and drinking. Supercharging.
You will arrive at your destination.
So the car has given me control now because we've arrived at our first supercharging location, and we're gonna plug in, spend about 10-15 minutes, and be back on the road.
Now you have arrived at your destination.
So there they are, the superchargers. Now I think these are Gen 3s, but just in case they're Gen 2, I'm gonna keep away from the other car. So this way we have the maximum charges. So I'm gonna go ahead and park and take this one right here. All right. Hey, look, there's a Starbucks, so I think we're gonna get some coffee. We actually haven't had lunch yet, so we might actually grab some quick snack. All right. All right, so we went ahead and plugged the car in. We did hit the maximum of 250 for charging. So it's going to charge. We're not, because of my setting is 90, we're not actually going to charge all the way up to 90 or anything like that. We just need enough to get to the next destination. In fact, that's the actual secret of electric cars, is you only charge to what you need to get to your next destination, because assuming the next destination that you're going to is your home, then you don't have to charge because you're going to be charging at home. It's cheaper. But if you're going to another supercharger along the way that you know, and because we know Tesla is going to have very reliable supercharging, what we do is we basically just charge enough to get to the next location, which is about 3 hours from here. So I don't know about you, but my bladder can't go more than 2-3 hours. So 3 hours from now, we will stop and charge while I hit the bathroom, and using that time plus maybe 10 more minutes or something, we'll have enough to keep going. Already it went from 19 to 30. And we've only been here for just a couple of minutes so far. And it's already gone from 19 to 30. And as we speak, you can see how it's going up, and it's going up pretty quickly. So, all right, I just thought I'd kind of explain the basics of the supercharging experience. So our first day of travel, it's been tough. One, we had the tropical storm in Atlantic City, and in the Philadelphia area, we've been hitting a lot of traffic. We've been moving literally just 1-2 miles per hour, and sometimes stopping. By the way, full self-driving all the way to Philadelphia, no intervention. But just me, a little qualification. When I say no intervention, that means that everything except for toll booths. For toll booths, I do normally take control just before getting to the toll booth. But besides that, everything else, FSD has been doing by itself. And here we are in traffic. The blue sign right here tells me that FSD is driving. My feet are not touching the pedals, and I'm not holding the steering wheel right now. So again, we're just sitting here in Philadelphia area. We're near Manioc at this point. It's a very beautiful place, actually, Manioc. I've had dinners here many times. Anyway, that's my little check-in. All right, so we've stopped at our second charging location, past Hersey. We're going to be here, according to this, to get to the next destination about 20 minutes is what it says. But that's just an estimate. We found that the last time it gave us like 25-30 minutes, but it was actually done in 10-15 minutes. So we'll see what this actually comes out to. But anyway, we're more than halfway there to our place. So the idea is to do about 500 miles or more than 500 miles on the first day. And we're taking it very conservatively, charging wise and all that kind of stuff because of the bad weather. We've been having a lot of wind, a lot of bad weather and all that stuff. So, and it's been cold. So we are giving ourselves a lot bigger battery buffer than I normally would use. So I would have gone much further. But anyway, while I am driving, Oswald has been looking for a place we're going to be staying near Cleveland, Ohio. So it's not in Cleveland, Ohio, because Route 80 goes outside. So we've been checking out a few things. So as you can see, he's been just kind of busy working away. So anyway, that's it for my check-in. Bye. Yep, going. There's the mountains. There's the tunnel we're about to go through. Look, Cleveland. Hooray! That's going to be our home tonight. Or someplace near Cleveland, Ohio. So, we're still driving. The weather has gotten much better finally. Full self-driving. It did get really bad for, wow. The car did drive into bad weather most of the way. There was about 15-20 minutes through fog where I just felt uncomfortable. So I just basically took over and drove in the fog. As well as even in non-fog condition, there was about half an hour worth that I just basically drove on my own and then used full self-driving. There was also a time period where full self-driving did not want to go back on after being turned off. Anyway, but everything is back on. We're almost at our destination on our first day. So we are almost 500 miles, which is approximately 700, I guess, kilometers or something like that, that we have driven. And so tonight we're going to be staying near here. And tomorrow we'll be driving another 500 some miles.